There's a moment most people don't talk about. It's not dramatic. There's no music, no one's watching. It's 2 inches the morning and you're sitting on the kitchen floor. The house is quiet in that particular way that only feels loud when you're alone. You haven't cried in weeks, not because things are fine, but because something inside you stopped working. You're not sure when it happened. You're not sure you care anymore. And then something warm presses against your leg. Doesn't ask anything, doesn't say a word, just stays. That's where this story begins. Not with a rescue, not with a happy ending already in sight. Just a man, a floor, and a dog who decided that wherever you were going to sit tonight, he was going to sit there too. This isn't a story about animals being cute. This is a story about what happens to the human nervous system when something finally stays. Before the dog, there was a version of this man that most people wouldn't recognize now. He was a veteran, 3 tours, came home with all his limbs and none of his peace. The kind of PTSD that doesn't look like the movies, it looks like forgetting to eat. It looks like sitting in a parking lot for 40 minutes because you can't remember why you drove there. It looks like a house that used to have a family in it and now just has you. He wasn't suicidal, he wasn't dramatic, he was something quieter and maybe harder to reach. He was empty. The divorce had finalized 2 years before. His kids lived 3 states away. His buddies from the service had scattered into their own private silences. And every morning he woke up to the same beige walls, the same coffee machine, the same question he could never answer: what is any of this for? He wasn't looking for a dog. He never would have chosen this. A neighbor's dog had puppies. Someone dropped off a flyer. He said no twice. The 3rd time, he ended up in a living room full of noise and small paws, and he meant to leave quickly. And then one of them, a brown mutt with ears too big for his face, walked directly to him. Didn't sniff around, didn't get distracted, just walked straight across the carpet and sat down on his boot. That was it. That was the whole moment. He said later that he didn't feel joy exactly, he felt something quieter, like a door opening that he didn't know had been closed. He named the dog Hank. Here's what nobody talks about when they talk about dogs healing people. It's not magic. It's not sentiment. It's biology. The human nervous system, specifically the part that governs threat and safety, is constantly scanning the environment. After trauma, that system gets stuck in a particular setting. High alert, hypervigilance. The body reads every room as potentially dangerous, and it never quite comes down. But here's what's interesting. Co-regulation is real. When one nervous system is calm and safe and present, it actually communicates that safety to another nervous system nearby. Humans do this with each other when we sit beside someone we trust. Our cortisol drops, our breathing slows, our bodies begin to believe they're no longer in danger. Dogs do this too, especially dogs who are simply, reliably, unconditionally times there. Hank didn't understand PTSD. He didn't have a treatment plan. He just pressed his warm body against a man's leg every night and breathed, slowly, steadily, like nothing in the world was wrong. And slowly times, the man's body started to believe it. But here's the part nobody tells you. It wasn't the big moments that changed him. It was the small ones. It was Hank waiting at the door every single time he came home. Every time. Didn't matter if he'd been gone 8 hours or 8 minutes. The tail, the noise, the absolute certainty that someone was glad he existed. It was the morning walks that started because Hank needed them, but turned into something the man needed more. Getting outside, moving. The body remembering that it lives in a world with trees in it, with cold air, with other living things. It was the way Hank would come find him in the night when the dreams got bad. Nobody trained him to do it. He just did. He'd push his head under the man's hand and breathe, and somehow that breath was enough to pull someone back from the edge of wherever the dream had taken them. It was Hank hearing his truck in the driveway before he even turned onto the street, sitting at the window, waiting, being waited for. Do you know how long it had been since someone was waiting for him? The brain craves predictability, especially a brain that has been through chaos. Trauma disrupts everything: sleep, appetite, memory, time. The world stops feeling like a place with patterns, and when you can't find patterns, you can't feel safe. You stop trusting that tomorrow will look anything like today. A dog creates a rhythm. Feed him, walk him, come home to him, wake up to him. That rhythm is an anchor, not a metaphor, a literal, neurological anchor. The brain begins to organize itself around these small, repeating certainties. And in that organization, something else starts to happen too. Purpose comes back. Not the big existential kind, just the quiet kind. Someone needs me this morning. Someone is counting on me to open the back door. Someone is waiting for me. That quiet accountability, that small daily need, is sometimes the thread that keeps people here. It took about a year before the man noticed he was different. He didn't have a revelation. There wasn't a day he could point to. He just noticed, one morning, that he was outside before sunrise with Hank, watching the sky go from black to gray to pink. And he was times okay, not happy, exactly, not fixed, but present, in his body, in the day. He noticed that he'd called his daughter twice that month instead of waiting for her to call him. He noticed that when he passed someone on his street, he said, "Good morning now." Hank had introduced him to 3 neighbors he hadn't spoken to in 2 years. Life didn't suddenly become easy, but it became survivable again. And for a while, survivable is everything. This is what dogs do that humans sometimes can't. They don't need you to explain yourself. They don't need the wound to make sense. They don't keep score. They don't get tired of you on the days when you're not much fun to be around. They don't leave during the parts where most people would leave. They just stay. And sometimes, the most therapeutic thing in the world is not advice, not medication, not even love in the way we usually mean it. Sometimes the most healing thing is simply the presence of something that stays. Something that sees you every single day, exactly as you are, and wags its tail anyway. Attachment psychology tells us that early in life, we learn whether or not the world is safe based on whether the people around us stayed, whether they came back, whether they were reliably, predictably times there. Many of us didn't get that. Many of us learned early that staying wasn't guaranteed, that love was conditional, that we might be too much, or not enough, or simply forgettable. A dog doesn't do that to you. A dog, every morning, votes with his entire body that you are worth staying for. Hank is older now, slower on the stairs, sleeps more. The man watches him sometimes, this animal who had no idea what he was walking into when he climbed onto a stranger's boot in a stranger's living room. He doesn't know if Hank saved his life. He says that feels like too dramatic a way to put it. But he knows that Hank gave him back something he'd lost, something quiet and essential and hard to name, a reason to be in the morning, a place where he was known, a relationship where he didn't have to be okay to deserve to be loved. Maybe that's what dogs really are, at their deepest. Not pets, not companions, not even rescues, though we call them that. Maybe they're proof. Walking, tail wagging, ear too big for their face, proof that something in this world can love you without an agenda. And maybe some people need that proof more than anything else in the world. Maybe you're one of them. That's okay. There's no shame in being the kind of person a dog chose to sit beside. If a dog ever changed your life, or if you ever loved one who is gone now, tell me about them in the comments. I genuinely read every story. Some dogs leave paw prints. Others quietly rewrite the whole story of who we survive as. And if you've ever wondered why dogs seem to sense sadness before anyone else does, before you've said a word, before you've shown a sign, the next video may explain something you've felt your whole life but never quite had the words for.